so much, Reggie.
This is for you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Wonderful. I have my notes here. Try to remember everything I want to say this morning. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming and setting this very early alarm for this Friday morning. I hope you get some inspiration from today. And also, I'd like to thank the team because they brought Creative Mornings back to Geneva after years that it was kind of discarded. It was Creative Mornings for me. Has such a special place in my heart. I am originally from Milan. I moved to Geneva when I was 19 in 2010, and I remember sitting like where you're sitting today and thinking, like going to these amazing speeches and thinking, this is so inspiring. I remember a speech from a scientist from CERN. I remember people like artists, change makers, a guy who's crossing Antarctica. And I was thinking like one day I want to travel the world. I want to see all these amazing places, people, animals I've always imagined. And now I'm here a decade later and I'm telling you my story. So I'm very excited to do so. So thanks again for organizing. This is me. This is me in my speed skiing suit. It's basically a red condom, as you can see, with an aerodynamic helmet. So speed skiers, what do? They go all straight. We don't like turns. We don't turn at all, in fact. We go all straight down the slope, and the goal of the thing is like go as fast as you can at the very end of the slope. My record speed is 167 kilometers per hour, which, to be honest, when I drive a car, I always try to get, and I never do. So it's pretty crazy. It's a very adrenalinic sport. How do I get into it? It's a long story. I guess you have many questions. How do you brake? We can discuss this later. But I wanted to start from here because I think this is a very important part of my journey in the sense that I've always dreamt to be a skier, but since I was living in Milan, like logistics were very complicated, and at one point I actually made it real, so I had to fight very hard for this dream to come true, and this is the representation of it, and I'm very glad. And as I said, like I was originally from Milan. Milan is a flat land, guys. It's no mountains in sight. And like my life has not only been the skiing, but of course is like where I learned the most, like all my soft skills I learned through the sports. So originally from Milan, moved to Geneva. I graduated in mathematics, and then after maths, I moved to Argentina for a year to do like 1 year exchange. And after that, I was like, I'm done with maths. I'm gonna go into arts. I work in arts for 3 years, like galleries and so on. And then I dedicated to the skiing. Like, I think my path was really, I don't know, if I look back, I'm like, what was I doing? But now everything makes sense when I look back. And after the skiing, I was like, okay, I need to find a real job. I went into venture capital. I worked in venture capital for a while. I was basically working in emerging markets, mostly Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, until COVID. Then COVID took me back to Europe. And now I work in private equity. Back to Geneva, back to private equity. This is not my normal clothing. So after I need to change on the go. So when Beishu asked me to be a speaker today about nomadism, I was like, okay, I need to Google the definition. This is like the typical thing we would do at high school that I have like tattooed on me. Like, okay, what is nomadism? How do we define it? And this is the Google definition. And when we think about nomadism, we think about people who move. We think about tents. We think about caravans. Like, we think about movement, right? But what I didn't think at first was this concept of cyclical movement, the fact that we always return. And this very quickly made me think about Nietzsche and the concept of the eternal return. Like, we're constantly moving in a circle, coming back to who we are. Like, it's not a straight line, but it's like kind of a curve that is coming back. And I think this is what like represents my journey. Like, I think I was exploring, changing, evolving, but always coming back to who I really am. And this is the concept I wanted to kind of like explore with you today. I want to start from the very end of my journey. So 1 year ago, I moved back to Geneva, and then this year I had the incredible opportunity to cross the Atlantic by sailboat. So I would like to tell you a bit about this and the learnings I had from this trip. First of all, I want to tell you how it happened. Like, it was not on my list. Like, crossing the Atlantic, I was not particularly interested. But then, as Beshu says, you met this person introduced you to this person, and then I have a call with this investor, and he takes the call from the boat. I'm like, never met this person. Like, we have a first call. And he's like, where are you? I asking him. I was like, oh, I'm in Santa Lucia, I don't know where. I'm like, I want to join you. Never met this person before. And he was like, okay, sure, come. We're about to cross the Atlantic. I'm like, okay, maybe I should come. So this is like a unique opportunity, and we need to say yes to this opportunity that just present to life. And it was such a change making journey in my life. Here I have 3 pictures of the day, of the sunset, of the night. Unfortunately, you can't see much, but I mean, the photo doesn't give any idea of like the sky full of stars that you can see in the middle of the Atlantic. But I want here to tell you about the 3 main learnings I had during this trip. At first, I was very intimidated. I was intimidated to go. I was like, what is gonna be? Am I gonna be bored? Am I gonna, like, it's something I've never done before, right? I was totally out of my comfort zone, but I couldn't feel any fear. I was feeling more like I need to go because I want to feel the freedom out of it. And the first learning is that when you're out there in this such immense, vast space, you're so tiny, like you're so small. And the particular thing is that this is not a negative emotion. It's actually a positive one, because you feel you are part of it all. You're part of the sea, you're part of the nature. And I think in our daily lives, we're so focused, like, okay, at 9 I need to be to CreativeMornings, at 10 I need to be at work. No. We live like constantly in projection and future, We forget we're part of such a beautiful miracle. And I was able to testify this, like it was so cyclical every morning, every night, like we saw like sunrise, sunsets for 12 entire days, and we forget about this. So my recommendation is like, take some time every year to go in nature and really experience it like fully, because it's so important. And the second learning was like, when you have time, you really think about your journey. I had like 2 weeks with nothing to do. So I was able to look back, look deep inside myself, look like with no judgment, just exploring what is the choices that I've made, how, with no like, purely understanding deeply. And I had a lot of time to do that. So this was also a very interesting experience. And the third thing is always adjust. So we were going to Bermuda, from Bermuda to Azores, point A to point B, with totally different elements. Like one day you have waves of 3 meters, the other day you have a storm, then you have a crazy sun, and then you're always adjusting your way. Like one day you decide, okay, we're going to get a little bit souther, then norther, according to the wind. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from behind, from in front? And this we forget sometimes, that all the decisions we make, they're not forever. Like we're always adjusting. Like, okay, I'm going to take this job. Like even myself, like 1 year ago, I was about to sign this contract, like for this job in Geneva. I was like, is this going to be forever? I don't know. Like we never know, but we're always adjusting, trying to find the best way, right? Because sailing is a great metaphor of life. This is the exact point where I jumped into the ocean for a swim. So it was a moment to remember. It was definitely a great experience, and it made me think about, like what is nomadism? It's coming back to your common places and look at it with different eyes, you know, when the perspective is changing. Nomadism for me is not to move like physically. It's being able, like having this ability to shift the perspective and looking at things with the new eyes. And the first time this really happened to me, it was when I came back from my year in Argentina. So I'm in Switzerland. I go to Argentina for a year. By the way, this was a cultural shock. We were talking about this before, like going from the most like regulated place to the most unregulated place. Cultural shock. And then when I came back, I remember walking in the streets of Milan, like my hometown where I lived like 20 years, and everything was new. I was looking at the buildings like, I've never seen this before, you know? So I think this is nomadism, like being able to be amazed every day by what you see with different eyes. And this happened in Senegal, one of the trips, and I remember with care, because when I came back, I remember being in the metro and saying, what is this? Like when I saw what's happening in Africa, what is this that it's happening here in Europe? Now, a question for you. If your life was a movie, what would be the title? And I will shut up for 30 seconds so you can think about it. I can see some people nodding, so they might have it.
I did it my way.
You have it? So I was playing a game with my brother, like, okay, let's have some questions. And this was one of like the most interesting question, I believe. And I'm really looking forward to hear your answers at the end, at the coffee and breakfast. My personal title would be Reaching the Horizon. And my brother's like, but you never reach the horizon. I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. Like, I want to go further and further and further. And I think when you travel, when you do new experiences, your questions get sharper, they get better. So this is what I want you to do, like ask questions all the time, but the questions evolve in time as well. So this is a bit the concept. We talked about creativity. We mostly talk about transformation, innovation. This is cool. Innovation is cool. Creativity is cool. Yeah, guys, innovation is a mess. Like, you need to disrupt completely the status quo. Like, you need to break yourself into pieces, or the reality you're working or whatever you're doing into pieces to build a new thing. It's super painful, and we romanticize this innovation part. And I worked in innovation for years, and it's true that it's cool because we're looking at the future. But to look and be in the future, we need to let go the past, right? So this is a very courageous act. And sometimes we forget, and this is like the road represents, we might going here, but then, as I said before, we might adjust the way and understand where we're going while we're going. This is a photo of my team in Ivory Coast. So in 2018, I joined this venture capital fund, and they're like, do you speak French? I'm like, yeah, I speak French. Okay, can you go to Ivory Coast? I'm like, I don't know where it is on the map, but sure. So I went to Ivory Coast, lived there for a year in Abidjan. We were working very closely with the Ministry of Youth in order to develop entrepreneurship. So the goal was really help students, young professionals to launch their ventures. And we talked about the sense of community. I think I experienced for the very first time the sense of community like very deeply in Africa, because here in our part of the world, we're told from school, like, this is your grades. It's yourself against the world, basically. This is what we have in our DNA when we're born and raised in the Western world. It's not the local reality in at least what I experienced in Africa. It's you're part of something, and whatever benefits you have is gonna be like you're gonna share it with the community, because the community is actually your superpower. This is what I learned, and it was such a deep learning, and it changed a lot of my vision and my actions for sure. And the idea really here was build long-term companies that could help local communities to sustain. And what I learned while building communities is that you create a safe space where people can actually risk and create. But doing this in this circle. So you feel much stronger when you can do it in a safe space. And when I came back to Europe, this is what I tried to replicate when I founded a community of women entrepreneurs. Came very naturally. Everybody's asking me, now it's been like 4 years I run this amazing community of women entrepreneurs. They're in 7 countries. We're expanding into Switzerland this month. We're launching. So I'm very excited, by the way, if anyone, any woman or man, like we also welcome men as long as the mission is empower women to be entrepreneurs. Yeah, because like we're inclusive, and then this is our mission, and like if man wants to participate, absolutely more than welcome. And I learned so much from them. They inspire me every day. They're amazing women who are fighting every day for their ventures, for their families. It's incredible what you can do. But I also think like together we're better, because together like we have a voice. We have a voice. This year I was able to go and speak at the government of trade and business thanks to that, because now we're having a voice, and I can feel that the women participating in the community now, they can benefit from it, and they can feel much more strength to do it. So this is a bit the concept. Like the concept is like nomadism is not physical. This is the name of the community. We're rebranding Sisterpreneurs. So you're welcome to join any entrepreneur in the room. It's not only physical, but it's really emotional, like the ability you can have to risk dare new things in a safe space. Like I'm toward the end of the talk. This is one of my last slides. So I want to tell you about my long-term dream. Long-term dream is to drive from Milan to Cape Town. I had this inception in my brain from an Egyptian friend. I was living in Cairo for a while in the art world. One of my best Egyptian friends put this idea in my mind, and since then it's like stuck. From Milan to Cape Town. Originally we want to do like the East Coast, but now it's impossible with everything that's going on in Sahel, Sudan. It's really hard to go through that part. So you need to go from the West Coast. So last year, I had the opportunity to do the very first leg of the trip from Milan to Dakar, crossing the Sahara Desert for the very first time. You realize how close, like you can literally take your car here and drive to Africa, guys. Like it's so close, and we don't even know, we don't even think about it. And this trip for sure has changed my life, my vision, my sense of proximity. I always thought, okay, Africa, it's far. It's like literally they're our neighbors. And we were part of a convoy. The idea of the trip was to bring some cars and deliver it to local associations. We decided we raised some money, me and my teammate, we raised like around 20K, bought a van, which was called Vanna. Bought a van, and we decided to donate it to the Association des Femmes pour la Paix. So it's an association against violence on women in Senegal. So we were a convoy. We were like 27 vehicles. The trip was an absolute mess. Like I swear, it was crazy. We broke the oil pan in the most dangerous place of the entire trip. First of all, how many of you know what is an oil pan? I didn't know. Now I know very well. We broke it in this 5 kilometers, no one's land, between occupied territory of Western Sahara, occupied by Morocco, and Mauritania, which is a mined territory. So as you can see, danger mines. We couldn't choose any better place to break the oil pan. Now, why is it important, the oil pan? To me, before the trip, I had zero idea. I can tell you, like, the car does not go without the oil pan. So we broke the car. We were like pulled to the border. And then we were in Mauritania. Mauritania, there's no change. Like, there was no oil pans, basically. So we had to put the van on a truck, which happened to be a fish fridge truck. This is the truck. You can see a bit here. It took us 8 hours to put the van on the truck because we didn't have a ramp, right? So, so it's crazy how so many details can create so much, so much obstacles. But we made it. We made it. As you can see, now the van is used by the Association des Femmes pour la Paix in Senegal. I'm super happy of this success. And this was kind of a trial for me to understand if this is a real thing that I want to do. And I swear if the van was not broken, I would have continued straight to Cape Town. It's something I want to do. If you're interested in following, I'll probably do that next year. And I wanted to tell you to close with this trip because it's ongoing dream. And I think we need to remember what our dreams, and as I say, adjust our ways toward them. Your only limit is yourself. This is kind of my motto, always going beyond your limits. I think this is the major learning I had from the sports, where your enemy is not your competitor, but it's actually your own limits. So let's stop looking elsewhere and start looking within to understand which ones are our limits and how can we go beyond them. Thank you very much. This is my context. It was very nice to tell my story, and I hope you enjoyed.
So, because of timing, let's say we'll take 5 questions, and then this way afterwards you can keep mingling. It's just that the timing of then the co-workers would arrive, so I'm trying to get beat. So, are there any questions for Bianca? There has to be.
What would you say is the hardest part about becoming an interpreter?
The hardest part, it's solitude. Being alone. Yeah. You're basically most of the time alone, and you're going through roller coaster, emotional roller coasters. So yeah, but that's the point of creating the community, right? So you can share that. Yeah.
What would be the happiest moment of your journey?
What would be my happiest moment of my journey? Like my life.
Just general, like your creative path, your growth.
It's an interesting question.
But just what would be the most impressive, happiest moment?
Every time I meditate and I try to think about happiness, I find myself in front of the ocean. Yeah, like when I surf or when I kite surf.
It's like nature.
Nature, like riding nature. Like for me, it's like riding when I ski, when I surf, when I ride nature. Yes?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's your advice for navigating like a big transition or pivoting? Like if you could give someone some guidance for going through major transition.
I have this for you.
What's your advice?
I have this for you. I was going through a major transition last year, and I was talking with my mentor, who is, by the way, no longer with us anymore, but like I have it in my heart. And I was like, I'm going through this tunnel. I cannot see the light. And he's a creative. He was drawing, and he draws this tunnel, and then he puts furniture in it. And I was like, just furnish your tunnel. And it was such a unexpected advice, but at the end of the day, you need to make the best out of what you have. So try to really maybe go within yourself, like imagine yourself in a tunnel, and you're making it comfortable, and then you just need to go through that. And one day you will wake up and the tunnel is gone. Like literally, the tunnel is gone. You'll be like, oh, okay,
Make the tunnel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like now I say it like with a smile. It was horrible times, of course. It's not so easy. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is the best you can do, I think. Yes?
I Thank you, Bianca. This is an incredible journey you've shared with us, and I
Thank
also
you.
love the name of your movie.
Thank you. What's yours?
Mine is Life of Impermanence.
Life?
of Impermanence.
Impermanence. Wow, amazing.
The question I have for you is, I mean, it's great to have been a nomad. I was a nomad at some stage in my life, but how does this impact relationships? Have you ever thought about that?
How is this?
How does this impact, being a nomad, impact your relationships?
I don't know. I think you build your life around it. Like my friends are all over the world. And I could fly to Delhi tomorrow and I will have breakfast with my friends. And then I could go to Abidjan. Like, I'm suffering more like going to the office every day and seeing the same people every day. But for sure, it's not easy. Like mostly in a romantic perspective. It's not easy, like if you want to build a family, no. So I haven't figured out. But I mean, this is who you are, I guess.
And you're not tired of it right now?
I'm tired of this going to the office every single day.
All right. Wonderful.
So is Mike gonna change soon? Don't tell my boss.
Last question over there.
Yes.
So for your next trip to Cape Town, what's the one new thing you're going to bring with you besides the oil pan?
That I'm gonna bring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I should bring a oil pan. That's such a good idea. I'm gonna bring my surfboard. Yeah, so I can surf along the coast.
So I have a final question for you.
Yes.
What's the slowest thing you do in your life? Slowest in the literal sense.
Nail polish.
Because I mean, I heard. That's when you have a lead speaking, man. That's really 2 words. So you have to take your time to do it, right? Otherwise, it kind of zigzags. Bianca, it was an immense honor and pleasure to have
Thank
you here.
you.
Obviously, I would love to give a big round of applause to Bianca.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.